Hastings. We're excited today about our program, which will be by Zoom, and we welcome those of you who are watching on Zoom. Just as far as announcements for League, we will have a field trip this summer, but we don't have details about it. So, oh, Linda, I didn't see you come in. Linda will tell us.
We will be going to the bridge, and Jill said that any day is fine except June 7th. So whatever it has been suggested that perhaps we plan on the first or the second Friday of June 9th, I think it is. And if you have some thoughts on other days, please let us know. I think that's great.
Thank you, Linda. I'm so happy. I just didn't see you come in. All right. Thank you today to Deb Sherrick for managing our Zoom and our recording quiz at that. And thank you to the Public Access Channel for being here. And this will be on the Public Access Channel at some later time. So today I am so happy to introduce to you, and I told them I might very well slaughter their names and they can correct me. Nizar Rasho, who's the Director of Economic Empowerment, and Bashar Karim, Director of Immigration Legal Services at Lutheran Family Services of Lincoln. The program is titled Refugee Resettlement and the Immigration Process. And I've invited our speakers to tell us more about themselves if they would like before they begin. And thanks for being here. We're so happy.
Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. Happy to be here, and thanks so much for having us. As they mentioned, my name is Nizar Rasho. I'm the Director of Economic Empowerment and Education at Lutheran Family Services in Lincoln. And I supervise the economic empowerment aspect of Lutheran Family Services program statewide. And I've been with the LFS for almost 5 years. And I'm sorry we couldn't be there in person today, so I apologize about that. Bashar, do you want to introduce yourself before I start with the presentation?
Sure, thanks Nazar. Hi everyone, my name is Bashar Karim. I'm the Director of Legal Immigration Services with Lutheran Family Services in Nebraska here in Lincoln. And I'm happy to be here. Thanks for the opportunity for having us.
Okay, thank you, Bashar. Do you guys hear us very well? Do you guys see the presentation and everything okay?
You're all great.
Okay, thank you. So today we'll just, actually this presentation was separated between 3 separate ones, but then I combined them. We have a lot of programs and different departments, so usually sometimes we present only for Lincoln folks, and then sometimes it's Omaha. So this one I try to combine everything in one presentation. And then I will go first, try to talk about some of the programs that we have, and then Bashar will go next. Okay. So first we start with what was a refugee. A refugee is someone who has fled from his or her home country and cannot return because he or she well-founded freedom of persecution based on religion, race, nationality, political opinion, or membership in a particular social group. So the definition of refugees is available online, and it's publicly known. But then if we come to the Refugee Act of 1980, the Refugee Resettlement Services was standardized by the Refugee Admission Program within U.S., which called U.S. RAP. The program was mandated to establish for any refugee admission ceiling by the presidential determination each year. We'll go into that more details. and then require annual consultation between Congress and the administration. So more procedures were put back in 1980. When someone first start to register for a refugee status, they will have to be out of their national countries, and they will have to register in one of the UN agencies, and most likely the UNHCR, the UN Refugee Agency. They will have to be presented for some time. I think they cannot go back to their original country. They will have to stay there. For example, if they were in Congo, they will have to flee to the neighbor country. They will in Afghanistan. They will have to go to Pakistan to register in a refugee status. They go through several interviews. The first interviews they go through is the Refugee Support Service Center. And then if they pass the initial interview, they go to the second interview, which is the USCIS interview, US Citizenship and Immigration interviews. Those interviews are very intense, and they ask a lot of intense questions. This will determine their eligibility for refugee status. If they were approved, they will be referred to IOM. It's the International Migration. UN is another UN agency that coordinates the travel and also the medical examination. If they were denied, they will be sent back home. After the medical examination, they get referred to the consultation overseas. They went through the consultation. They go through the consultation, and they organize a travel, and then they come to the US. And based on their if they have a US tie, which we call a family-based member, so if they have brother, sister, or family member in the US, they will be allocated to the location. But if they don't have anyone in the US, usually they allocate them based on the availability of the resettlement agencies and their capacities. We do receive a lot of free cases, which means they know no one in the US, and the allocation is based on the capacity of the states and the cities. So each visit cleared, the President of the United States released a presidential determination which determined the processing of refugee nationals and arrivals sealing for the US RAP, which is the US Refugee Admission Program. The recent one is the FY23. It's based on regionals, so if you look at these numbers, United States is supposed to resettle 125,000 refugees coming from this regional all over the world based on the location. So Africa is 40,000, and then we have Europe, Central Asia, 15,000. So based on the location, these are all estimate numbers. So generally, we don't reach these numbers. This is how it will look like. So 2013, the determination was 70,000, and then 2017 was 110, and was all the way cut down to 60,000 in 2021. 2020, or Lutheran Family Services resettled only 8 people, for example. After the new administration recent ones, we have 125,000 for each of the last year and this year. This area is are the resettlement numbers for Lutheran Family Services, both with the Chair War Services and Lutheran Immigration and Refugee Services. So Chair War Services is our national with Lincoln, Lexington, and Council Bluff. The Lutheran Immigration and Refugee Services is only in Omaha. These are the numbers that we have resettled through 2016 till now. 2018 to 21 was very low, and then now it's picking up again. For 23, we resettled in Lincoln 79 people so far. That's the latest number that we resettled. I think we have family coming now every day. and in Lexington 25 people, Council Bluff 41, and Omaha 152. So this is the traditional refugee program for the U.S. For the last 20, 30 years. The other two programs that were initiated based on the refugee crisis that would happen, one in Afghanistan and the war in Ukraine. So Afghan placement and assistance program. This was a year ago, 2 years ago almost. This number were in addition to the refugee numbers. So Lincoln Risa 283, Lexington 48, Council Bluff 41, Omaha 424. Afghan placement assistant, whoever came through this program, they came through the refugee traditional program that we have, so they were eligible for resettlement services. However, for the UHB, for Ukrainian, were not eligible for any initial services because they had the private sponsorship program. So we don't have the certain number for resettlement for Ukrainian because they came independently through a sponsorship. The only number that we provide is that Nebraska have submitted 770 applications through USCIS, and they're less than 4% have been denied. So this could be 770, just an estimate. They could be anywhere in Nebraska. Any questions before I move to the programs? No?
Anybody?
Okay. So who we are serving? So we serve refugees who approved through USCIS, the United States Citizenship and Immigration. What does that stand for Bashar?
Yes, these are U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services.
Okay, great. Asylum seeker who granted asylum, so somebody was in the U.S. and fleeing from political asylum, and they granted asylum. We will bring the court paperwork, and then we will enroll them in our programs. Cuban Haitians, a lot of Cuban Haitians reside in the rural areas. SIV, so SIV, they were a special immigrant visa in two countries, Iraq and Afghanistan, who were assisting United States Army missions back then. And the APA is the recent status for Afghans. UHP is the other one for Ukrainian, and we also serve victims of human trafficking, especially in rural area. We have several programs that support them. I will go pretty quick through the programs. So the first one we have is the reception and placement. It's the first program that provides essential services for new arrivals. Lincoln, Omaha, each location we have supervisors, case managers, case aid drivers. They pick up families from airport and they provide 24-hour home visits, and then it's intake, and there's the social security, housing. So this is one of the most intense programs that we have in the agency. It's very intense. Within 9 days, a lot of services have to be provided to the families. School for kids, medical, state benefits, all the essential for new arrivals. Based on the family needs and their goals and background, education, they were, if they were licensed in a certain degree in their own country, based on the criteria for each family, they could be referred in different programs. So, for example, the preferred community programs that we have, it's an Office of Refugee Resettlement program, eligible population with challenging needs that require special attention. I love it. So if you look at this old criteria, so if you have any refugees that came disabled, or they were using substance abuse, or they have psychological or elderly refugees, or LGBTQ. So whoever refugees that came in the country within one of this criteria, they could be enrolled in this program. So this is a long-term program that serve refugees with these conditions. The other program that we have is the recent one for Ukrainian, what we call the PC gap for Ukrainians, also known as United for Ukraine. This program assists with case management, mental health, housing assistance, medical, financial assistance, school enrollment. So basically, this came as a coverage because some Ukrainians weren't, all of them weren't eligible for the initial 9 days program, this one. So this one came later after to fill in some of the gap, because a lot of co-sponsors, they did not fulfill the requirements, especially from a financial perspective, and we had a lot of people coming in and said, oh, the co-sponsors will kick us out, or they are not paying our bills or rent. And now that the government realized the problem after the war, and then they released this program to cover some of the needs. The other program we have is the Match Grant. So this is an Office of Refugee Resettlement program again. And it's very intense in terms of employment. Families have to work as soon as they go through their cultural orientation, job readiness, and we set up all that paperwork. They have to work right away. So provide case management, employment skills training, family budget planning, job placement, job readiness. We pay their house, we pay their rent, bills, we pay for the transportation from the an essential 3 to 4 months. Language training is provided, and social adjustment and other services are provided just to make sure the family have everything they need to start employment, and then we'll be able to be on a path of self-sufficiency. So case managers, caseworker, apply for childcare, teach them how to use the bus, take them to rest care or a course for their appointment, medical, all the essential needs to just make sure they have everything they need to become self-sufficient. Parolees are also, like for example, current parolees are also eligible for this program. And we have 9 days to enroll them. For refugees, we have 30 days to enroll them in this program. The Match Grant program is one of the quick program, and it's only for one time that a family could use it, and then that's it. But for the refugee support services, this is a state managed program. It's also a federal funded, but it's managed by the state. The refugee state coordinator is the person who manages the program. So provide and support refugees, asylum grants, parolees from Cuba, Haitian, Afghanistan, Ukrainian, SIVs, to achieve self-sufficiency, identify possible career opportunities. So this program is for 5 years. It's only provide technical assistance and case management, employment services, job placement for up to 5 years. So people could arrive in the US, get a job for a couple of years, a year, and then for some reason they lost their job. They always could come back within 5 years of their arrivals to re-enroll in the program or attend English language learning programs. We also help them to apply for community colleges if they want to go to a job course, or if they have if they want to work with the American Job Center, the Work Opportunity Act, if they need any certification or education degree. This programs help them to go through that, and it's up to 5 years. These are some of the services that are available for this program. Transportation, we provide buses, job development applications, job interviews, all the employment needs. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we have a list, a form that people can be referred to. If you're aware of anyone The forms are available online, I believe, so they can be referred to our programs, and then we receive an email and we call families and do intakes and follow up with them. This one is for employment, this one is for English. Another aspect of our work is the employer and partnership and outreach. So we partner with a lot of employers in Lincoln, Omaha, Council Bluffs, Lexington, Kearney, Grand Island, and we do site tour, job fair with them, and also we have 2 business and outreach coordinators in each locations. This person is no longer with us, but we have a replacement. But I could be contacted for any inquiries related to people are looking for workers, or they want to hire refugees and all that. So we could make a call or visit at their site and just have a conversation and see how things go from there. And we have, so for that we have an employers need assessment. So employers will go to our website, fill out the survey, and then based on that, the survey will be forwarded to all the employment specialists, supervisors, and then we'll see the employer's needs. And based on that, we speak with our clients, and then we match up a client with the employer based on the skills and the English ability and all that. Some of the other programs that we have is the Career Lab program. It's funded through Google. This program actually it has I think 6 or 5 agencies combined. So the Multicultural Coalition in Grand Island is one of them. They provide services through this program. Catholic Social Services, Asian Center in Lincoln, Center for People Need Lincoln, and LFS. Refugee Health Promotion Program. It's we have this program for both Afghans and also for refugee category as separate. So to provide wellness groups, connect refugees to peer support, identify refugees' specific health needs, provide orientation workshops, seminars, and all that. So I don't think so. We have this in the greater Nebraska area, like Grand Island, Lexington, Kearney. It's only Lincoln. Global Roots programs in Omaha, and the Mutual Development Account program is in Omaha. So IDA program provide match funding for families and individuals. So for families, they could match up to saving up to 4,000, individual up to 2,000. I think Community Action has a similar program like this, but it's only for refugees. Global Roots provide access to urban farmland, help them to grow cultural crops and receive ongoing technical assistance, provide farmers with technical assistance and training, and access to culturally relevant food. So we have this program, I think now for 3 years in Omaha, and we're looking to expand in Lincoln. The other one is the Global Language Solution, so provide interpretation statewide for I think 18 or 20 languages that we have. So this is a program, sort of a business within LFS refugee programs. It's called Global Language Solution. I provide services, language interpretation, translation services for businesses. It could be employers, or health department, or a government entity, or a non-profit, or whatever. I think they will have to do a contract, so whatever. But it's a program that I think we have a lot of beneficiaries within the communities that are using this program. The last one is the Immigration Service, Legal Service Program, which Bashar will talk about that more. Before Bashar start, any questions for me?
This is a wonderful array. Can you hear me okay?
I think so, yeah.
It okay?
Can't hear you at all.
I thought I could hear it out. See if I can speak it.
There we go. This is a wonderful array of services for helping people get established in our country. What about the social fellowship aspects of it, connecting with those networks of individuals?
Do you mean social function in matter of other community integration, or right? Sorry, can,
Yes, thank you. Many families become acquainted with their neighbors through the education or employment venues. Are there any other places where folks can get to know each other?
I think so. So Lutheran Family Services is doing they, through the Refugee Health Promotion Program, they have a lot of outdoor activities. A lot of people are invited to that event. So I think last year they did a couple. This year they're going to do a couple more events. People are invited from different ethnicity in the community, and the refugee also, of course, they're invited. And then they do a lot of, I think, playgrounds, and then a lot of speakers are coming in. I think the mayor last year came. So that's one of the events through the Refugee Health Promotion Ground that's happening. Also, there is the New American Task Force in Lincoln. A lot of refugees or community leaders came in, and they have concern. Their success stories they share with other organizations and other people. Lincoln also have a welcoming space, I believe. Recently, they initiated a welcoming space, so refugees could go there, and other populations could go there, and have a chat, conversation, and open a space for integration. I hope that answers your question.
This isn't necessarily a question, I am just totally astounded at the services that are offered, and it amazes me that you're able to do all that.
Yes, I mean, there are a lot of programs that are available, and I think all of them aims to support refugees to become self-sufficient. So that's our goal. We really try to coach them and provide all the services that we have to just make sure that everybody in the family is employed. They get to sort of education and all that. Sorry, there is another aspect of the integration, which is the community sponsorship. So within the Afghan crisis that happened 2 years ago, I think 100% of our arrivals, which in Lincoln at least, which I managed during that time, 283 people received sponsorship. They had a sponsor, so they were either from churches in Lincoln, maybe I think the Lutheran Church in Lincoln at least sponsor 18 families. But usually they go to the airport, they receive them, they provide a meal, they took them to appointments. I mean, we couldn't facilitate all those people without the sponsorship programs that we have. So a big aspect of the integration is to really match co-sponsor with families and help them ongoing, allow them build friendship, and they take them to their farms. They go to zoo together. So that's really nice how to see the integrations happening when you have such story. That's a big aspect of integration. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else?
Okay. If you guys have any questions, Bashar will take over. Okay, Bashar, all yours.
Right. Thanks, Nizar. Yeah, for our program, the title speaks for itself. We are Immigration Legal Services, and we are licensed with the Department of Justice. We have a recognition from the Department of Justice since 2001, and we do have people who are also accredited by the Department of Justice to do the immigration work, because as you know, to do an immigration, you have to be licensed just like attorneys. So we simply do the same job any attorney does, but except we cannot represent anyone before the immigration court, but we can represent our clients in front of Homeland Security in general, which is U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, Customs Border Patrol, and Immigration Custom Enforcement, ICE. Nizar, if you just go back one slide, please. Yeah. This is our program. We have Department of Justice accredited representative people doing that, and we have in Lincoln we have two people. They have a Department of Justice accredited representation granted myself and Nizar. In Omaha, we have another coworker named Melissa Goodman. She is doing that job in Omaha. Nizar, next slide, please. And this is the definition Nizar told you about, the definition of the refugee according to the United Nations Convention. I just don't need to talk much about it because I think Nizar covered that. So, as Nizar said, any refugee or anyone enter the United States, they will be vetted, they will be processed overseas, and after the U.S. Refugee officer determined that that person or this family is eligible for refugee, they will put them through the process so they can be transferred to the United States. And the first thing they receive when they enter, it's this form called I-94. It's issued by the Customs and Border Patrol Protection, CBP. And this document established that this person was, according to the Immigration and Nationality Act, said that this person inspected, admitted, or paroled into the United States. By this document, you can determine whether this person is entered the United States legally or illegally. For the folks who entered legally, they will be issued this document. Next slide, Nizar, please. Once, as Nizar said, most of our clients are refugees who are being in a third country or not in a country of their origin, or most of them, they will be in a refugee camps for years. So majority of them, they don't have the passport of their country of origin because they fled the country and there is no way for them to go back to obtain a passport from their country. So to facilitate the process of these people to be transported to the United States, U.S. Department of State issues this document called travel document, and it has information of each person traveling, whether it's a single, whether family or couple, and basically it's their basic information. And each person will be issued something according to the Immigration and Nationality Act called alien number. Anyone not born in the United States who are into the United States, they will be issued alien number. So basically, there will be alien number, date of birth, country of birth, and full name, and how many people they will be traveling with this travel document. Next slide, please. And one of the documents will be also processed and adjudicated by the U.S. Asylum Officer or U.S. Refugee Officer. Will be work authorization document, EAD. So just like the I-94, this document will arrive to the agency who took over the case for resettlement, and the caseworker or the person who is working with the refugee will handle this to the person or to the refugee so they can start working. And they are basically, this document is valid for 2 years. We are hoping that after 1 year of their arrival, they will do something else. We will talk about it in the next step, which is adjustment of status. And this is when refugee adjust their status from refugee status to legal permanent resident, or known commonly by green cards. So that's one of the services we provide, the legal immigration services. Refugees and asylees, after 1 year of their admission to the United States, they will be eligible to apply for legal permanent resident cards or a green card, and we help with that as well. And this is a document for them. They will be eligible to work, stay in the United States. They cannot be removed unless they do something. They will be, in that case, they will be deportable or they will be removed from the United States. Next slide, please, Nizar. So any refugee, any asylee, anyone enter the United States legally, or anyone who petitioned a spouse, they are eligible to become U.S. citizen after a certain period of time for refugees, asylees, after 5 years of continuous residency, and for folks who are married to U.S. citizen after 3 years of continuous residency in the United States, they can apply for naturalization to become U.S. citizen. And once their application is approved, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services will issue a certificate like this called Certificate of Naturalization. Next slide, please, Nizar. Our contact information, myself, Melissa Goodman in Omaha, and Serene Fahal, also here in Lincoln. And I think this is the last slide, Nizar, isn't it? There are more contact information for other programs such as Nizar's and MADO, BIP, and Matt Martin. I believe that was all. If you guys have any question for me, I'll be more than happy to answer.
I don't know how you do it all. I'm so impressed with the work that you're able to do. Oh,
Sorry, I
good.
didn't hear the questions clearly.
Well,
Sorry.
it wasn't one.
She said she was very grateful for all you do, and she doesn't know how you do all this work.
Thank you. Thank you.
I had a question for the future members of your organization who are now in high school and colleges, and the opportunities they have to learn more about what you do by assisting. Are there opportunities beyond volunteering that would get them started on a path?
Yes, for our program, Legal Immigration Services, we do have volunteers, interns from law school here in the UNL. But beyond that, I don't know if you noticed or not, but the program I'm working with is very, I would say, we are only 3 people, full staff 3 people. It's myself, Melissa, and Serene. And from time to time, Nizar also step in to help. And as Nizar said, within 2 international crises, Afghanistan and Ukraine, additionally to what we have in refugees coming, I can say that we are overwhelmed with the work we do. We are overloaded, but whenever there is an opportunity for hiring new staff, of course, we would love to have new staff. But for other opportunities, we always welcome volunteers and interns and so on.
I was interested in, I think it was Nizar who spoke about the sponsorship of programs where people can sort of adopt a family. Is that sort of how that works?
Yes, so the sponsorship program we have, it's really amazing, and Morgan and Holly is the program director, Morgan is the program coordinator. They provide training. We have a really good system that you will receive a newsletter, you will receive weekly updates. There's a background check involved. You could be a volunteer, you could do home setup, you could be a mentor with a refugee, or you could sponsor a whole family. It's on the website actually, everything's on the website. If you go to the website, I will try to send the information right in the chat, right here. But there are there's a lot of opportunities to get involved, as I mentioned, and I will send you the link right here, and then you guys look at it, apply, and Morgan will get back to you. Or you could send me an email also, I can connect you with Morgan. Which Morgan was supposed to present today, but she was out, sorry. So we're covering for her basically, but yeah, she's the one who could help with that.
That also sounds like an amazing program. I'm wondering if there are opportunities for those of us who don't live in Lincoln and Omaha, other than financial, to help.
I think so, especially we're expanding. I mean, we have an office in Lexington. We have one employment specialist, a case manager, one fingerprint specialist, I believe, and there's a front desk staff. But the office is very big, so we just received a new grant in Lexington. We will possibly hire a teacher, another education specialist. So we're expanding in Lexington. Our capacity this year was 80 refugees, and I think next year is going to be a lot more. We have an office in Grand Island. We're looking to have one in Kearney. But yes, if within that area, if you're willing to sponsor a family, that's possible. Also, if you're willing to sponsor a free case family, that's also possible. But there will be a lot of help since like you guys are investing, right?
Right,
Yes.
right.
Yeah, so investing, I've been there. So if you want to sponsor a family, a free case that don't have anybody in the US, they could be, I think we could place them there in coordination with the reception and placement staff members, but they will need a lot of assistance since we don't have staff on the ground. So it depends how involved people could be. A lot of people sponsor refugees from Ukraine. I think there was a family was sponsored in Shredden, Nebraska. We just provided technical assistance remotely, but everything else they had to take care of. It's certain they had to drove the family all the way from Shredden, Nebraska to, I believe, Grand Island to get into the refugee medical screening because the refugees medical screening are only available in Omaha, Lincoln, and Grand Island. So if they were any other place, they will have to drive to these places for refugee medical screening. So, yeah.
That makes sense. Thank you so much. Anybody else? Okay.
I'll ask one more question because I see Michelle Lewis is on with us here from our Chamber of Commerce. There are a lot of opportunities for people to become a part of our communities, and I wonder what kind of resources you have to connect folks with employment with some degree of ability to know the needs and the ability for training and integration into the business. I know that you don't do all that yourself, but who works best with you to help folks get jobs?
Yeah, we have a supervisor in Lincoln and 4 employment specialists. But basically, 4 years ago, when I first started at Lutheran Family Services, we were like going after employers and almost begging them, oh, please hire our clients. They're hard workers, they speak English, they have skills and all that. Now it's the opposite. We receive inquiries every day from different employers in rural areas, Lincoln, Omaha, and they're seeking workers. Kawasaki, for example, 2 years ago, almost a year ago, they weren't hiring any English speaker. Now all their staff are non-English speaker, most of them, because employers had to adjust to the situation. They needed more workers, and there were a lot of people in the community, even though they didn't speak English, but they had to hire them. So GPS in Grand Island, and one of the employers that we work with them, Tyson, Lexington. I think there was another one in Grand Island. But if there were employers, they will just have to reach out to us, and they could fill out our survey. We could have an initial meeting and see what are the areas they could support us, and how you could help them to get the refugees employed at their companies. So a lot of the employers they might get back from us, as expected, but things get time to be expand in refugee resettlement, especially now there are different resettlement agencies are new ones are coming actually. So there's a Bethany Christians, I believe, in Lincoln that's going to resettle refugees. Refugee Empowerment Center, they were in Omaha, now they want to resettle in Lincoln and other areas as well. So I think this whole thing is kind of expanding, but the employers, the ones who have refugees and want to get involved, we would be happy to get connected and see how things go from there.
I was remembering that League of Women Voters often attends the citizenship ceremonies, and then we offer voter registration there. So that's the one thing that we are able to do out here.
Yeah, for the oath ceremony, every now and then they make it in a, they try to put like a number of people, do it together. We had people, I think recently we had one of the ceremonies here at the Capitol building here in Lincoln. Historically, we had some in Grand Island. I'm not sure about Hastings, but I'm sure about Grand Island for sure that we had one. But in a daily basis, we had like individual, used to be individual, not ceremony, but as soon as the client passes the citizenship test, the officer come out will handle them the certificate. Because of the COVID, they didn't want to put too many people in the same room. But they start doing that again. They make a ceremony at the USCIS headquarters in Omaha. But yes, they choose other historical places to put people in. They make a ceremony in other towns and cities as well.
It's an amazing thing to see. We've gone to the Arch by Kearney, is where we've done it, and Grand Island. So I highly recommend going to those ceremonies. It's pretty incredible. I don't see any more questions arising here. I just want to say thank you so much for giving your time. I feel as if we're taking you away from more important things. So this has been really wonderful for us to hear from both of you and to learn what Lutheran Family Services is doing for immigrants.
Of course, thank you so much, everyone. And please, if there are any way you could support, get involved, you have our emails, and feel free to email us. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for having us.
I just can't believe we do all that.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Of course.
It's incredible.
Recording stopped.